Hello, Matthew Williams here, bringing you a little video on the Paralympics and my absolute ignorance of why that is put on television and supposed to be kind of interesting. I suppose the ruling powers that be probably think it's not that interesting too, because that's why they removed the Olympic airspace restrictions over London and other cities, which were there for the proper Olympic Games, which I thought was shit as well, because I'm not into sport, never have been, probably never will be. Not true. I will actually play certain things. I will do certain things. I like badminton, very gay. But then this is me. I like badminton, but what I do like is playing it. What I don't like is watching other people play it. So this is why I've never really been into sports, because unless you're out there actually doing it, what is the point of being a fucking supporter of something you can't do? You know? It's like, it's like, hey, I love rugby because I can't play it. I love football because I can't play it. I love racing because I can't do it. I love running the marathon because I can't do it. Okay, great. Well, a lot of people get a lot of enjoyment out of things that they're not very good at. But what I can't understand, right, is why the government had all these restrictions in place for the Olympics, so that the Olympics wouldn't be bombed or have planes flying into the dome and exploding and all this sort of stuff, yeah. So they had all these missiles, and they had the police, and they had the drafted in army, and they fucking spent a lot of money and a lot of effort to make sure that that thing went ahead. The Olympic Games, with its big pyramids on top of the fucking building. Anyway, won't digress. But they made sure that went ahead, and it did. It went ahead. And then, they had restrictions there to make sure that it went ahead, and they were very paranoid about it. And of course, once the Olympics was over, then the stadiums are handed over to the Paralympics, so the people who are disabled and have various handicaps can have their games. These people are classified for some strange reason as not being good enough to be in the real Olympic Games, so they have a toned down, tamed games of their own, whereby their handicaps are compensated for. So hang on a minute, let me get this right, because I can't understand this, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, disability is terrible. Really feel sorry for people who are disabled, although they don't like us to feel sorry for them. But, I think to myself, well, it would be nicer if you had 2 arms and 2 legs or a head or something, that would help you through your life. That would be nice. I wish you had that. But the fact you don't have it and you're happy, great. But what I think is rather condescending and rather patronizing, unlike maybe what I just said, is the fact that these games are then put on after the Olympic Games. The television companies then go, oh, we don't really want to see disabled people because they're just fucking disabled, aren't they? It's not going to be very popular. And it's like, so what they do is they denigrate it to, like, off-peak viewing, and you don't get so many channels dedicated to it. And, it's not talked about so much in the media, and in the newspapers and things like that. But what really is like a big fuck you to these disabled people that take part in the Paralympics is the fact that they just remove all the airspace restrictions, and they remove all the police, and they remove all the army. So basically what their government is saying is, we don't mind if you bomb the Paralympics. Bomb the Paralympics. Go on, fly some planes into the Olympic Stadium. Go on, we don't care. They're only disabled. I'm sure that makes disabled people feel much happier to know that when they're doing their bit of the Olympics, that, really, they're not being catered for in quite the same way. But explain this one to me. I, again, don't like watching sport, but I, can't help for like a few seconds passing a television that happens to be on and happens to have on the Paralympics. And I'm seeing runners, with 2 legs, 2 arms, and they're running along, and, they're running very fast. And I'm thinking to myself, these guys can fucking run. So, just because you've got a mental problem, or perhaps you have epileptic fits or something like that, which means that you have to take tablets, you're still out there doing the thing that could be done at the main Olympics, but isn't. So, the whole thing about the Paralympic Games is that, tell me, because I don't understand, because I haven't even really watched this stuff, but how do you judge what's one person's handicap against another to say that that's a fair level for them to play at or compete at? It's like, somebody with no legs being pitted against somebody with legs. Somebody, why can't you have somebody in a wheelchair then, if that's the case? With a fucking electric stick that they can push forward and like get up to 50 miles an hour, racing against people that have got legs. Why not? Why not? I don't get it. It's like, how do you judge what one handicap is better or more over another? Who does that judging? And who puts in the handicaps that then mean, are there handicaps? Are there handicaps that allow somebody who is, who hasn't got any arms and maybe only has one leg and, and has one lung, that person is then pitted against somebody who just has a slight mental problem, so that they may be, learning difficulties or something like that, and has two legs and two arms and can run really fast. How would that work? How does that work? Can anyone explain it to me? You got guys who got no legs and then they got these fucking stilts on, that mean that they can probably run faster than somebody who's got fucking two legs, and then what happens if somebody with the stilts on wins because they come first? Do they actually lose because somebody else was given a handicap that meant that they would be 30 seconds added, 30 seconds subtracted off their time? How would that work? How does it work? Do they even do that? I don't know if they do that. Because to me, it's like, well, I could have a brain problem, and then go into the Olympic Games, the Paralympic Games, and I could run the race and beat everybody on that field. I'm not saying I would, because I'm probably pretty shit. But, imagine the scenario. I'm running along. Yeah, I get to the end. I beat the lot of them. And they go, congratulations, you came last. Because I have the least handicap of anyone there. So other people would have been... It was actually the guy in the wheelchair, running off a PP9 fucking battery. And his wheelchair was running at 1 mile an hour, And people had to come out and push him because it was running so slow. But he won it because his handicap said that he was better than because he was more handicapped. Do they do that? I don't know. I haven't watched the Paralympics to find out. But it sounds to me pretty fucking stupid. Sounds to me pretty frigging stupid, the whole thing. Anyway, I'm sure people who take part in it, they all have a great time. However they judge it, fuck knows. But I'm sure they all enjoy themselves greatly, and I'm really glad they do it, and I'm really glad the money is there for them to do it, and I'm glad that it's on television for them, because it's not for me, it's for them, right? Like the Olympics, it's not for me, it's for you, it's for them, yeah? I could complain about the money could be spent much better on other things, but it's not for me, it's for them. But when it comes to silly things like them taking away the airspace restrictions so that the terrorists could go and bomb the Paralympic Games, it does send out a bit of a message that kind of says, fuck you, disabled people. You can have your telly and you can have your Olympics, but you ain't having fucking security. Fuck off. And then there's this bloke, just as a final piece, as an Apple rant. No, I'll do it in another video because then people will be able to search for it. So this has been Matthew Williams slagging off things he doesn't understand, but at least I'm honest about it, I am a subgenius Reverend Minister, and at least I'm honest about it, right? When I rant, I'm ranting sometimes about things I know very little about. Hey, kill me.